bags where horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm a Sunday night reviewer. Tuesday night reviewer. I will get used to saying that at some point. But anyway, we have a theme week of basically like hunting gone wrong. I decided to go into the world of urban hunting and I chose the 1987 movie directed by Paul Michael Glaser and a Stephen King novel, The Running Man. Arnie's Running Man. Yeah, so diving into the movie, it's a dystopian future, which is actually the past because this is set in 2017. But we have basically everything is run in the US by this police state, and there's been a huge, like, basically economic collapse globally. So everything is pretty rubbish, pretty bad, and they keep the population kind of happy by having these game shows, and the most popular one being The Running Man. So this is a program where it's a game show, and they have these basically criminals, and they are fighting for their lives throughout the game. So they're trying to win back their freedom. Basically, that's what it is. A pardon from the government, and then they get to go and live their life on a tropical island somewhere. That's kind of the gist of how this goes. And then we switch to good old Arnie, our Ben Richards. Now he's a policeman and is in this helicopter, and there's there's this kind of riot going on, but it's a calm one. It's a food riot. Well, calm as I say. There aren't any weapons or anything like that, but they're still ordered to open fire. But he declines, and he basically gets a big fight within the helicopter and taken out, and he gets basically put in a labour camp into prison, which he breaks out of. It's this prison where they're kind of held in with this security fence that basically they have these bombs around their neck, and if they run past this security fence, it basically pops their head. But there's like they manage to escape in the end. There's a couple of them, these resistance fighters. Yaphet Kotto is one of them, and yeah, they go in to this resistance base and get these things removed. There's at one point Arnie is all cool, puffing on his cigar, and they're like, "Do we want to help this guy because of what he did?" Because obviously, well, not obviously, they showed this doctored footage, basically kind of like this deep fake of how we have today. But that comes a little later actually in the program. But they just edited the footage basically to make it seem like he was just a mass slaughter of these people, when in fact it was the police on their own. But anyway, they want him to help. Like they want to hijack the basically there's this network, and they're the one which run these game shows, but it's all completely corrupt. It's all bollocks, and they want to expose this because this is the thing that kind of keeps the population calm and under control, and they want to expose it. It's all just bollocks. That everything is just bollocks, and so they overrun the government basically. But Richards is not interested. He just wants to get out. So he goes to his brother's house. But we have a woman living there, Mendez. She actually does the jingles for like these different game shows and stuff like that. And yeah, he finds out that his brother's gone to a re-education camp. And she's not the friendliest person. Well, she knows who he is, but obviously she knows what she's been told is this mass murderer. But he decides that because of the job she has this good security pass, so they can go away somewhere. So I can't remember where they go now. So somewhere out the country, more or less, and they're escaping. But they're in the airport, but she like triggers the alarm and he gets chased, kind of thing. And obviously he gets caught. Now there's this this is part that there's this Killian. He runs all this, and he's actually like the face of the game show. He's like the show host and all that. Yeah, but he runs like the whole. Is the CEO of the company, ICS Corporation, I think it is. He's actually a real game show host. I cannot remember the name. It's an American one. But yeah, so he's actually a game show host. And he's pretty good in this. He's a pretty sinister character. I kind of really like him. But he sees like some footage of Richards being captured, and he's like, oh, that's going to do my viewing figures amazing. I want him on the show. So he brings him to the show, and he basically has the other two. Like they've tracked the other two down who he escaped with, and it's like, if you don't help, I'll kill them. So it's like, fine, let them go, and I'll go into the game show for you. And of course, he reneges on this. Sends them into the arena, and all three of them are there. So first they have to come up against Sub-Zero, which is like this rather large, I was going to say sumo Japanese guy. He's a rather large Japanese guy, and he's on ice skates, and he has all these like razors on this basically, and his job is to kill them. But he actually gets slashed. He gets like some what's it called, razor wire wrapped around his neck and slices that open, and he dies. So yeah, they are one stalker down, and like they're constantly clicking back into the crowd, and the crowd love all these stalkers, so they're kind of really shocked and they're saddened by this. It's like this great big loss to like the community. So it doesn't matter about these like these runners which are like being killed all the time. It's like, well, they're criminals, doesn't matter about them, but like they have this connection with these hunters kind of. But there is a TV clip that Mendez sees. Now Mendez is the one that Richards broke into her apartment, and she's sitting. The footage shows that he's like shooting all these people in these places. She's like, "Hey, that didn't happen." She's like, "No, this is not what happened." So she goes to find the unedited footage within inside it, and of course she gets caught trying to find the unedited footage. So she is like thrown into the game zone as well. So it's down to four of them. Now, because there's four of them, they deploy two stalkers. We have Buzzsaw with his motorbike, and Dynamo, the electric guy, with this kind of like buggy. He shoots lightning everywhere. And Buzzsaw is just this big psycho guy with chainsaws. But they managed to find the uplink, and so there's the one guy who's pretty good with all this electrical stuff, and he manages to get the uplink code and gives it to Mendez, but then he gets killed. He gets electrocuted by Dynamo, and so they're kind of fighting away. Yaphet Koto actually gets also killed by Buzzsaw, but then old Arnie kind of gets his revenge, gets the chainsaw between the legs and pulls it right up him. It's a pretty cool way to go. But Dynamo actually lets go free, and that's actually shown on the TV, because obviously everyone's watching this live and people start to change their opinion on Richards. They're like, oh, this guy's awesome, and he has a kind side. He's let this guy go. So that's kind of like quite interesting how the crowd, they're starting to change their views. So yeah, what was going to say? Yes, actually, Dynamo. No, I'm getting a bit mixed up here. Dynamo actually does catch Richards. No, I am right. He gets. Yeah, I'm getting all mixed up here. Sorry, my notes are all messed up. So yeah, like Richards spares Dynamo, but then afterwards, Killian, he like in this private or private area they're going through the speaker system. He actually offers Richards a job to be a stalker. And that just makes him go crazy. He's like, there's no way I'm being a stalker. But anyway, they bring in the next stalker, and it's his Fireball with his he's got his jetpack and his like flamethrower. So he's hunting them down. Mendez actually finds the corpses of so that they keep like mentioning these three winners, and that they're having this wonderful lifetime, but she actually finds their corpses, their skeletons, and so she knows it's all lies, sort of thing. And then Fireball finds her. So, but then Richards comes at that point, and they're having a big old fight. He sabotages the jetpack fuel, and basically he goes up in a huge fireball. Fireball is killed by a fireball. Yeah, it's kind of quite nice. And then after that, they actually come across this within the game show. There's this base. Yeah, so it's the resistance base, and so they give them the code, sort of thing. But when we go back to Killian, he's like freaking out about all this, and he gets Jesse Ventura is in this, and he's Captain Freedom, and he's in retirement now, but like they're gonna get him to fight, but they actually doctor some older footage. So this is when they use like deepfake before it's deepfake kind of thing, and they map like Richard's face onto this other guy who's in this kind of fighting pit with Captain Freedom, and he loses and dies. It looks like Richard loses and dies, and Captain Freedom is the winner. That's how we'll get to that bit. Yeah, but they actually see this being aired, Mendez and Richards, and this actually changes Richards' views now, because he's like, well, the government will constantly try and hunt them down because they're actually being shown to being killed now. So he decides to help the resistance, where he's not been like into it before. He's like, oh, whatever, I don't really care. But now he's like going to help the resistance. So he gives them the codes, and they upload the original footage of the Bakersfield massacre, and then they upload like other bits and pieces showing the dead bodies of these past winners and stuff like that. And the crowds realise, in the audience, that it's all lies, and they start to revolt, sort of thing. And yeah, so they actually get back to the studio, and we see Dynamo, and he's trying to he attacks Mendez, but he actually gets electrocuted by a sprinkler system, which is quite a good way to go. And Richards tracks down Killian, and so when they enter the arena, they're on these like I don't know what they are, these kind of sleds kind of thing, I don't know, go-karts without wheels, but they're rocket powered, and they're propelled into the arena. But I don't know how he rigs it up, but he rigs this one up so it shoots Killian into this like billboard of his image, and explodes, and then that's kind of the end of our movie. Great movie, great 80s Arnie movie. It's like one of the big ones. And yeah, like maybe some people don't realise that this is actually an adaptation of a Stephen King novel. The King novel is actually pretty different. It's not in an arena. It's basically the runners that they can go anywhere in the world. I just remember bits and pieces of the book. It's been many years since I read it. Like Richards he's not this hulk of a man. He like breaks his ankle at one point. There's another bit where he gets shot or something. His intestines are kind of half hanging out on this airplane and stuff like that. I remember it being a lot more gritty. This is kind of quite almost comic book style, but it's that I'm not saying that to take away from the movie. It's great fun. I've always loved this movie, and it's always an easy, great watch. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review of Hunting Gone Bad. So this is our yeah, like in the oh, what's the words? Sorry, it's very, very tired here. It's very late here. Yeah, so it's the urban hunting. There we go. That's the word I was looking for, the urban hunting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.